Hello there, it is Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Spheres 1 by Levitate With Sound. Spheres 1 is a second release from Levitate With Sound, this time turning their attention to morphing sound design. Spheres 1 uses the Levitate With Sound Fusion engine to create dual-layered, continuous moving soundscapes with controllable parameters to create complex and interesting atmospheres. With a generous sample pool, Spheres 1 gives us 40 design presets with the invitation to create some more. Spheres 1 downloads at 4.18 gigabytes and it runs in the free Kontakt player and is NKS compatible. It's currently on intro price of $99. In this video, we're going to check out the sounds and the functionality of Spheres 1, and I've put it to the test in a composition as well. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Levitate With Sound for sending over a copy of Spheres 1 so we can make this video. While we do get the instruments for free, it doesn't in any way cloud our thoughts, ideas or judgments. We're just working composers giving you our insights. And with that in mind, if you've not done so already, please do hit that subscribe button. So without further ado, let's jump into Spheres 1. Here we go, we have Spheres 1 Morphing Depths from Levitate With Sound loaded up in the free native instruments Kontakt Player 8. There we go. That is still going, that one. All I did was just play around on a D minor chord, but get the idea. These are complex patches. They have lots of movement, lots of layers, really, really interesting stuff. So let's just talk quickly about how the instrument works, and then I'm going to play through some presets. Just going to turn the previews off there. In the middle, you can see this is a giant XY pad. It is a sphere. And we can see the movement going on. So the movement is controlled with the XY parameters here. And you can have greater control here as well. You can adjust the minimum, the maximum, and the frequencies as well. If you want to stop the movement, you can just turn them off and you can position wherever you want it to be. So if I just play a chord, you can hear the change in sound right there. So I'm just going to turn that back on. And then we have delay and reverb over here, and we have some more detailed settings as well. So that is the performance page. And if we click on design, this is the Fusion engine. So there are two different layers and a lot of different samples to choose from. And you can combine these any way you want. And then we have a lot of different controls, some fairly usual controls, but of course we've got all of our effects here as well, and you can just adjust virtually every parameter you possibly could want to. So that's how it works. Now I'm going to load up a couple of different ones. So if we go etheric, so even though I'm playing simple diatonic chords, C, D, G, it does have some aleatoric elements to it as well. So if I play Bloom, I'm just going to play an A minor chord. And I'm just letting that evolve so you can hear the full spectrum of the two different layers and how they're being manipulated. Now, I am using the mod wheel. So the best way, just to show you what happens when you use a mod wheel, I'm just going to put that into the middle and use the mod wheel. So the mod wheel isn't assigned to anything. That is just an evolving patch with no movement going on. Lovely. Let's go for colder. So another complex sound. Found and lost. Let's play really low down. So a combination of some low notes, just holding down a C drone, and then higher notes. Life forms detected. That's some seriously fantastic sound design there. We've got Quarto Lives, and of course, I just want to go Quaid. In reference to a popular Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Anyway. Lovely. Let's go for residue. Yeah, it's exceptionally cinematic. I'm going to play one more. You Have Abandoned Me. Sounds brilliant. I love the decay, and you can of course control that. So if you do want to shorten the tail of each of these, instead of having to automate it in your DAW, you can do it in the instrument. I'm not going to play any more. There are 40 presets to go through. That gives you a starting point, and the amazing thing about Spheres 1, which makes it really, really fun to play around with, is to just change different layers and change different parameters. And you can do as much tweaking as you want and then save your own preset, recall it later. And you can just keep generating soundscape after soundscape after soundscape. But if you see all of the different layers that you can choose from, there are so many different combinations in the Fusion engine. Now that brings me to the composition. So the composition, I decided to... I've been quite enjoying horror tension of late, so I decided to use Spheres 1 as the foundation of kind of like a creepy lullaby. That goes a bit more mechanical later. And it worked really, really well. So just talk about my composing experience. It all gels together. And then the movement, obviously, you can control it if you need to. And it just all seems to just fit and blend, and there's no sort of phasing or strange sounds, and there is an unpredictable element to Spheres 1. So if anything happens that you don't want it to, you can of course just tweak the controls here, so you're not going too far and wide. But yeah, check out the composition, and then I'm going to give you my closing thoughts. But I really enjoyed making this one. Here we go, it's closing thoughts time, and we're talking about Spheres 1 from Levitate With Sound. I really enjoyed composing with Spheres 1. The sounds you can get out of this instrument are absolutely wonderful. I love the movement from the XY pad, the Fusion engine, all the different effects. It just is incredibly well designed and well executed. I found myself when I was composing, if I stacked 3 or 4 sounds maybe, due to the XY pad's movement, I had to restrict that. So sometimes I turned it off, sometimes I narrowed how much movement it was doing, because I didn't want lots of different sweeping frequencies coming in and out. And in a composing sense, that's incredibly easy to do. And from my composition, you can hear that all of the different patches work together really, really well. And of course, I added some diatonic instruments with a celeste and a piano. I used Koima to do the percussion pulse, and added some of my own sound design, and it just fits and works incredibly smoothly when you're composing. You only get 40 presets, and this is a point that I'm going to make. Spheres 1 isn't a preset machine, and I think it's a real important distinction to realise that Spheres 1 is more of a sound design tool. So when we're talking $99, which I feel is good value for money, we're getting a powerful sound design tool. We're not getting 150, 200 presets, with some of which that you wouldn't use. So the 40 presets that have been created are kind of starting points for creating your own, and Spheres 1 really does invite you to do that. So as a sound design tool, I do highly recommend Spheres 1, because it's an instrument that's going to keep on giving. You can keep getting new sounds and creating new timbres, new soundscapes, and the engine is really intuitive, really easy to use, and it's really fun to do your own sound design. So yeah, Spheres 1 is a recommendation, especially if you're composing for video games, for movies, TV shows, if you're scoring to picture. Yeah, I could just see lots of uses for Spheres 1. I'd like to take the opportunity once again to thank Levitate With Sound for sending over a copy of Spheres 1 so we could make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course drop us a comment. What do you think about Spheres 1? Have you already picked it up? How are you using it? And then please do check out our other videos, and of course if you've not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It means the absolute world to us to see the channel grow, and it is the best way you can support us. So until next time, have a great day and keep making that wonderful music.